$70. I'm Bobby. This is Shiny Brain, and we're talking about Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for the Switch and Switch 2. There's a lot to unpack with this. It was from the Direct that came out today as I record this. There was a lot of interesting stuff in the Direct. We'll get to some of it, but I want to start with Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I am one of what I assume are millions of people who bought the original Mario All-Stars for Switch. It had Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy 1. Not 2, 1. And at the time, we all assumed Nintendo someday would let us pay for Mario Galaxy 2. And here is the day. You could either pay $40 for Mario Galaxy 1 or Mario Galaxy 2 a la carte, or you could get them together for $70. And if you're on the Switch 2, you have the ability to get an upgraded version of both games that takes more advantage of the hardware on the Switch 2. What we haven't heard from Nintendo is for anyone that spent $60 to get that first collection back on the original Switch, does your Mario Galaxy game get any of those updates? And I'm just going to go ahead and wildly guess no. So that leaves you, if you're a fan, to decide, okay, am I going to pay $70 to play an up-resed version of the game that I already have, as well as this really, really good game that didn't get re-released, but if you're like me, you played it a while ago, back on the Wii, which that wasn't that long ago, right? I'm not surprised. I'm annoyed. I want to shake my fist at a cloud, but I am not surprised. Nintendo has said many times they view their products as worth paying for, and clearly enough people agree with them that they're able to set these prices where they're at. $40 for Mario Galaxy 2 by itself, I guess, isn't horrible, but when you add to the fact that in order to get, as a Switch 2 owner, the upgrades for Switch 1's Mario Galaxy, it just kind of locks you into paying that $70. If you think about it, you save money and you get the better version of both games. It just stinks that that's where we're at. But really, that whole Direct was about paying for stuff, more expensive things coming to games that you may already have. For example, Mario Wonder is getting a Switch 2 edition. Looks like fun, if you're someone like me who already has Mario Wonder. The idea of paying $10, $20, whatever it's going to end up being for some more levels, basically DLC and a better running version of the game, it's a lot easier to swallow. I thought the same thing about, the Zelda upgrades. If you already had Zelda and you didn't have the big enough Nintendo Switch Online tier to get them for free, $10 to unlock 60 frames a second is pretty dang good. But Kirby recently gave me pause on this, because that's a game that I didn't play. I never owned the Kirby game on Switch, and I played the demo of it and I was like, this is, it's fun. I could play this. But then I thought, to get the game at full price is $60, and then to get the $20 upgrade pack for Switch, all of a sudden that's $80. It's an $80 proposition to get in on the, Switch 2 floor of this game right now. That one will go on sale at some point. I could, I could probably find the base game maybe for $42. Those sales that tend to happen, those 33% off or 30% off sales. But it's, the game's been out for a while, and it's now $80 de facto if you're a Switch owner and you want to have the best experience with it. You don't have to have the best experience. There's no law. There's no one's going to explode if you play the Switch 1 version on Switch 2 and skip the upgrade path that they offer you. But it stinks. It just stinks that $80 is really, for most Nintendo games, the ground floor price to have the full experience. That's been true on other consoles for a while. Nintendo did not invent this, but it's here. They, I think, have finally realized, yeah, we could do this too. And look, I understand the economic situation right now. Basically every physical product they sell that is not the Nintendo Switch 2 device itself has seen its prices creep up just a little bit because of tariffs this year. So, if these are further downstream effects, basically insulating the console from those price increases, I suppose I understand. It just, it stinks. Paying $80 for Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in 2025, even if they are up-resed with a few more side features thrown in. I don't know, man. I don't know. There was a lot more DLC in this direct, and this one hit me weird, but again, Nintendo didn't invent this. They announced Legends ZA Pokemon DLC, and the game doesn't come out for another month. Yeah, another month. And this DLC is $30. It's $30 day one DLC. Now, again, if you're keeping score, the Switch 2 version of this game costs $70. So if you want the full version of the game, that's $100. Now, again, Nintendo did not invent this, but I will say that a lot of the day one, deluxe edition stuff that let's say you find on other platforms, most of that is cosmetic, or there's a meta game within the game that you're getting in-game currency for or something. It's very skippable stuff. I would call it, a side experience. And obviously downloadable content is outside of the main game. It's literally sold separately. But it feels more, integral in the sense that it's an extension of the story. It's not just a skin. You're not getting in-game items or something. You're not paying for a leg up. It's, this kind of stinks. I will say I saw the Donkey Kong DLC. I don't know that that's for me. They had me when they were showing the DK Isle. I was like, sweet, that'll be really fun. And then it's kind of just like a speed run mode. I don't know that I need that. I'll probably buy it anyway, but it's not, that wouldn't have been my first step to do more with that game. I love that you can go to DK Isle. That's going to be really fun. I just wish there was more than just that rush mode to do when you're there. We got a date for Metroid Prime 4. That's really cool. I'm looking forward to this. There was some worry that it was gonna slip into 2026 because we hadn't heard from it for a while, but December 2025. It'll miss Black Friday, which always confuses me, why you would launch a game after Black Friday that you would think would be, a big game. But it's not like it was going to be on sale anyway for Black Friday. So, people can wrap their presents, a week later or whatever. And it'll be interesting to see, what direction they take that series, because we haven't seen much from it in quite a long time. And I know a lot of people were really happy with that Metroid Prime re-release, kind of like an appetizer that we got on Switch 1 not that long ago. So those were some of my big thoughts on the Direct. There was a lot more to it. I give Nintendo a ton of credit. An hour-long Direct. It was full of big franchises, the games that we want to hear about. So kudos to them. Man, this video game thing's getting expensive, huh? Anyway, what was your favorite moment from the Direct? What games are you looking forward to most? Hit me up in the comments and we can chat there about what you're looking forward to. One more thing before we go. It really helps the channel if you like and subscribe. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate your attention. And, if you think about it, price has been front and center for Switch 2 really its whole life. When CD Projekt Red put their game on a Switch cartridge physically, people spent the money for it. And I wonder if Nintendo got that message. I talk about that a lot more right here.